Hi, Dave Breslow, founder of the Personal Best Academy, here with you again. Imagine this. You're out on the court, you're taking a lesson actually, and you're working on a shot and you're continually making errors while your pro, whoever's teaching you, is trying to help you with the mechanics of it. Now imagine you're out on the tennis court and you're actually playing somebody. Competitive event maybe, or social tennis, whatever it is. But imagine you're out on the court and you are just missing shots, making unforced errors left and right. This is what most amateur tennis players are doing. Of course, tennis is a game of unforced errors, isn't it? The one who makes the most unforced errors tends to be the loser of the match. The one who makes the fewest tends to be the winner of a tennis match. But here's what I want you to take a look at. I'm suggesting to you that most of the errors that you make are actually happening twice. What do I mean by that? First, they're happening inside your head, and second, they're happening actually out on the tennis court itself. So, what do I mean by that? Here's what I'd like you to know. Because of the power of the mind-body relationship, and if you've listened to any of my previous videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know I believe the mental game is 100% of your game, the way that I teach it. You can learn more about that later if you want, but here's the deal. Take a look at the errors you tend to make. Quite often, aren't they shots that you absolutely have the ability to hit and hit well? The answer for most tennis players is yes. We make errors on shots that we absolutely have the ability to hit. The problem is that many of the amateur players out there in the world right now are projecting onto the tennis ball. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you see a low backhand coming, you don't see a tennis ball coming to that side of your body and getting ready to hit that shot. What you see is, uh-oh, it's a low backhand. I have trouble with these kinds of shots. Probably not going to hit this one very well. That's what you see. And so many amateur tennis players, and I did the same thing when I first started playing, by the way. So many of us, without realizing it, it's unconscious, but we actually project onto the ball. Instead of actually seeing a tennis ball, we actually see a certain kind of shot. And if we don't happen to be comfortable with that shot, guess what? We're not going to strike it very well, are we? So here's what I keep telling tennis players. You can go take lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson and read magazine article after article after article. You can watch the tennis channel. You can do whatever you want. But if you don't get that part of your mind cleared away, then you're still going to make those unforced errors for no particular reason. Only because of the mind-body connection and how swift it is and how fast it is and how it literally communicates with itself to produce outcomes. This is what happens. You project something onto a shot. Now, when I do a public workshop, for example, I did one at La Costa Resort and Spa in Southern California. And I asked, there was probably about 60, 70 people sitting in the stands, and I asked a volunteer to come out, and I said, what is one of your most difficult shots? And this one woman raises her hand, she says, the overhead. Great. Pretty common, difficult shot for a lot of amateur players. So she comes out. Now, as a former teacher, I could have mentioned at least 5 mechanical things to her about her overhead and why she was having trouble with it. But did I? Of course I didn't. Because I understand that many people don't need that much more information. The body already knows what to do. If you just get out of your way, the body will reproduce it for you. So, I asked her about her overhead, and of course, she's uncomfortable with her overhead. So, within 10 minutes, she started banging her overheads into the court. And I was feeding her some pretty tough overheads too. She had to move back pretty well to hit these overheads that I was feeding her, and she hit them beautifully. Where 10 minutes earlier, she was making error after error after error. Why? Because I finally got her to see that it was her mind that was creating the error. And the first 10 balls that I hit her, her mind literally went, uh-oh, I don't do these shots very well, uh-oh, overhead, and then she would literally send that message into her system, and her footwork was bad, her racket preparation was horrible, her contact point was horrible. All these things that if I was teaching her mechanically, I would have mentioned to her. But that's not the root of the issue. This is what I'm hoping you are actually seeing as a result of this conversation. So I had her understand that she's making the error twice. First up here, and then second out on the tennis court. So when we cleared up here for her, She immediately started hitting the ball better when she realized that the message she was sending herself was causing her to hit poor overheads. It had nothing to do with her skill. She was perfectly able to hit a good overhead. Now, did she need to improve her mechanics? Of course. We all could improve our mechanics. But now she's going there with a much more confident baseline. So that's the message here that I want you to get. Most of our errors are made twice. First here, second out on the tennis court. Take a look for yourself and start to notice the projections you put on a tennis ball. How are you labeling a shot that comes to you? Are you labeling a high forehand, a low backhand volley, an overhead? Uh-oh. The uh-oh is usually what comes after that. See what happens when you can label it something that's more acceptable to you, that feels better to you. Watch what happens to your game. And so I invite you to click the link below this video, and it'll take you to another page with some more free information, another free video. And you can also get yourself to take a look at the Match Tough, Practice Great, and Play Even Better, the online product that I have that is specifically for tennis players like you. So thank you again, Dave Breslow, founder of the Personal Best Academy, and I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.